Rally Club, there's a new promo code this week. Why should you possibly spend all of your elite raid credits and your arena credits? We'll talk about that in this video. And are there more changes coming to ISO 8? We're talking about all of these topics and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me this week all the way from the helicarrier is my brother MobileGamer. And if you're ready for all of these topics and more, than MobileGamer, let them know what to do.
I'm just here for the Hulk fist bump.
We'll get to that at the end, my friend. Right. Yes, I know. I look forward to that as well. But welcome to your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keep you updated on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you get some value from this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new video goes up. But without further ado, how have you been, MobileGamer? How have you been in life? How have you been in your Marvel Strike Force experience over the past week or so?
Yesterday was upsetting to me, and we're going to talk about that. The currency conversion thing is not what I thought it was going to be, or I feel like it wasn't clearly defined because I'm sure they worded everything a very specific way. I also suspect that they probably heard me talking about how I was going to use the currency conversion system to my advantage, because I was talking about it for a minute, and I wonder if someone like saw that on stream and then went and made these changes. I have no idea. What? I really got that feeling. I really did.
All right, well, that is the major topic. I do want to get to that, but there was a promo code earlier this week, green and purple. If you didn't claim this, make sure you claim this. It is going to get you 20,000 of these Intel credits and 2 million gold. It does expire on the 12th of May, so if you haven't already claimed this, make sure you claim this. Did you claim this already?
Yep, absolutely.
Pretty good stuff. You could get it like half of a Gear Tier 20 piece. You could get 5 shards from a newer character in that Intel store, so decent stuff. But let's go to the major topic, the additional details on the Intel store and currency conversion. So before we get to this blog post, how did you think this was gonna work? What was your general idea of how this was gonna work before we get into what was announced yesterday, the additional details?
Okay, so first of all, I think there has been general confusion that some of this currency would be converted into Intel currency, because they keep putting them in the same sentence, in the same paragraph, Intel store and currency conversion. To be very clear, on the most basic level, 0% of your 17 million raid credits is going to be converted into the Intel store or Intel credits, or be able to use for anything useful.
No, it's going to go to the supply store, the old store, the legacy store. I don't know what they're calling that. I've heard it called supply and legacy, whatever that one. The old store is what else it's going to be converted into.
Well, the garbage currency is called shop credits, and there's going to be a shop credit store. To make it more simple and easy to understand, we could just call it credits, and we could call it a store if you want to. I mean, that's the best way to describe it, right?
Yeah, cool. I got to write down where you said that, because
so you got to edit that out. Okay.
Maybe. All right. No, you can call it that. Everybody knows what you're even with those ducks there. Everybody knows what you're talking about there. But that didn't change. I think that just made it a little clearer for people.
Right.
But what did change? Continue on.
Something that I've been talking about for a week or two about is that they were talking about converting all the currencies into one lump currency. Well, there were 2 currencies that actually had some value. Like, as an in-game player, I've been playing the game for 7 years. Most of the items in the raid store have no value. Most of the items in the war store have no value. Most of the items in the Crucible store have no value. Most of the items in the Blitz store have no value. In fact, they have no value. The 2 exceptions were inside of the raid store, the elite currency. Yes. Now you're sitting 758,000. I have 0 of that. I had been spending it as it comes in, and I've been buying the Crimson Gear raid orbs, because I'm trying to get as many characters to what I call 19 and a half. Most of the stat increase. Yeah, the middle piece. Yeah, I was running out of uniques, so I was flushing all of that elite raid currency. So I was like, okay, if they're going to convert everything into one currency, that means I'm going to have much better access to those pieces, because the middle piece is what gives on some characters a lot of the stats. Like sometimes a character,
the damage, focus, things like that. Yeah,
like if you look at from going from 19 to 20 on some characters. Doing that one little piece, which was required no gear tier 20 pieces, was like 80% of the stats from going to 19 to 20. So we were calling
that's why Overpowered's here.
Yeah, so we were calling it 19 and a half. Well, anyways, the Crimson Gear Raid Orb would allow for that. And like, as an example, you know, there was like a character that I hadn't been able to do it. I was looking for some alien spores, and the main way that I was getting alien spores was through that orb. And I was like, okay, on the 22nd, I'm going to have an abundance of this and I'll be able to get all of it. That's not happening.
No,
okay,
yes.
I just say that's not happening.
I opened all of these yesterday. I got 12 more. I guess we completed a raid, but I think I'm going to spend all 758,000 on these Crimson Raid Orbs for the exact same reason. I want those mini uniques for these characters.
Okay, so like
opening them all.
When we get to the arena part, there's some caveats. I really don't think there's any caveats on this. Like elite raid credits, run, don't walk, just flush all of them into the Crimson Gear Raid Orb. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of controversy on that.
No, this is a no-brainer. I opened all mine yesterday. I wasn't sure because I was thinking about it as we're recording the video. After I finished recording the video, I was like, I should just open everything. So I'm going to do that sometime before the conversion. I don't think I'm buying any of these arena orbs. I don't think there's enough value in, but I'm buying these T4 L4s all the time. What are you doing with this arena orb? What are you doing with this? When I look through this stuff, I don't want that. That's fine. That's okay. But
so some of these suggestions are for people that have an abundance of this. You have 100,000. I'm sitting on 500,000. So what I'm doing on a daily basis, and I'm going to highly recommend that you do this also, is every 8 hours buy both of the training materials right there. Buy both of them. Buy both of them.
Oh yes, it used to be different when I first launched it. This was so much more of a value, but now I think it's the same. Like arena credits towards the.
Yeah, but they're getting rid of the L4s. When it converts over, their L4s are not going to be there anymore. So get as many of them you can today. At a minimum, I think every player, if they have any kind of excess of arena currency, should be buying the L4 and L3s every single 8 hours.
I was buying it anyway. I was buying the L4s all the time anyway.
Yeah, and so going over to the orbs, if you click on the arena orbs, there is a very poor conversion rate on this that does give a modest amount of L3s, and it is a meaningful amount when you start converting 100,000, 200,000. Like I'm sitting on 500,000.
Let me open a few. Just let me open
10. Yeah, there you go.
Open 20. I'll open 20.
Okay.
Let's see how much stuff we get here.
Yeah.
All right, and
not a lot, but it's something.
Not a lot. All right, I don't know if it's worth it for me to open all my arena orbs for that, but you get some. I see it.
No, it is because I'll tell you what this is very specific actually also. So don't like right now. The main thing is if you have an abundance of these, you need to be able to have enough so that every 8 hours you can buy the L4s and the L3s, right? So I went through and I had 500,000. I spent 400,000 of it. Just dumped it into the arena orbs, and I'm saving enough. Yeah, I'm saving enough to buy the L4s and
every
the
day
L3s
until the conversion happens.
And then on the
I think I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to buy these every day, and then at the end, I'm going to buy all these orbs with the surplus. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so the general plan that I'm hearing from a lot of people is they're going to be buying the L4s and L3s every single day, every 8 hours until the 20th, because the conversion is supposed to happen on the 22nd. Yeah. And then they're going to dump it a couple days before the conversion. I'm thinking I'm going to forget. I'm thinking I'm going to forget. So I left enough. I converted a lot of them now into because I want the training materials, and I left enough to buy the L4s and L3s. And then when I get to the 20th or whatever it is, like a couple days before, then I'll do the rest of them.
Ooh, you bring up a really good point, because a lot of times I also try to min-max stuff and I end up forgetting. I'm like, oh, I just should have just done it the ineffective way. I should have just done something instead of forgetting. That's a good point.
Okay, so I don't know if you should do anything. Like I had 500,000, and I'm going and looking my inventory right now. Yeah,
I was buying the L4. I wasn't buying the L3s, but that's going to change. I'm going to buy the L3s now. So.
Oh yeah, buy both of them. But I'm sitting on 171,000. I had 500,000, but I think saving like 100,000 is probably where I'm going to feel the most comfortable. But here's the thing: once this stuff converts, the value and the ability to get training materials goes down significantly.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of a...
No, hold on. Do you think they're still going to be selling L3s? Because they mentioned L4 is not for sale. They're still going to be selling... So you still can get some L3s like you would from the Arena Orb?
Well, there's something they did not state also is if they were going to increase the amount of L3s that you can buy every 8 hours without having to refresh the store.
I bet they didn't say that because they didn't know it. I bet they don't know yet. I bet that's why they didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like they are greatly restricting access to training materials and Crimson gear by making this change. Now, in some ways, it kind of makes sense why they do this, but at the simplest level, this is not player friendly.
Yeah, I mean, it's short term. Yeah, I think long term, this is very positive for the players because all the currency we get right now is kind of useless, right? At least with the Intel store, we're getting some good things. We could buy some things that's relevant right now, and then all that useless stuff is still gonna be there, you know? And yeah, so I think overall this is a good thing. But these details, you do need to start to get some, use your elite raid credits and use some arena credits. Everything else, I think, is fine.
So I have to, we're speaking in generalities. Both of us I've been playing the game for years. Both of us have been playing the game for 7 years. So everything that we're talking about here right now may not apply to anybody that's only been playing the game, let's say under a year. Because if you've been playing the game under a year, you know, this currency comes in and then you're buying important things with this currency. But at some point, and I don't know exactly where that is, all of this stuff that comes in, all of the Crucible currency is more or less useless. All of the war currency we get is more or less useless. You're there, right? We're both there. Like we're just there's nothing to do with
Crucible
this currency.
War is not as exciting, and I get it. I get it.
And exactly that. When Crucible came to the game, they paid us Crucible currency, and we were buying cool stuff with it.
Only way we could get Gambit and a few of these other characters. It's the only way we could get some of these characters. Yeah.
But then this is Scopely's fault. Scopely failed to continue to update the stores. And so what happened is that we start getting hundreds, if not millions of currency, and then they don't want to put anything in there because we've got so much extra currency. The day they put into, we can just get it real quickly because we have so much currency.
Maybe they're like us. Maybe they're like us, Mobile. They have all these plans like, oh, we want to update this Crucible store all the time. They're like, oh yeah, we forgot. Oh, it's supposed to be, and then it keeps getting that cycle. Now they have one Intel store to update instead of the Arena store or Crucible store. So hopefully I'm hoping this, even though this might not be positive right now for the conversion, I'm hoping this is going to be a very positive change for long term.
So here's the positive part is, like you said, something that's really important. Like a lot of people do not care about playing an Alliance War or Crucible because the rewards are not good. If it starts paying, when it's going to start paying out Intel, and we don't really know the rate or how much it is, or if it's a good amount or whatever. We don't know that because it's going to happen on these dates that are showing here on the screen. In-game players, people that have been playing the game for like 6-7 years, like yourself, we go into war, we get this war currency, we don't care because there's nothing to buy. We go into Crucible, we get this Crucible currency, there's nothing to buy with the Crucible. And so people are like, I don't really like playing in war. I don't like playing in Crucible. It's not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze because there's not any, you know, and it's their fault because they've not updated these stores, right?
Yeah.
So the idea here is they're going to start paying out Intel in those game modes, and they've got the dates that's going to happen. They've already started doing this in raids, and they also started doing this in Blitz milestones, right? So they already started to implement it. And there's actually stuff I want in the Intel store, specifically the Gear Tier 20s. And so the upgrade from the way that I see it is that I was getting a currency in war that had little to no value to me. And now I'm getting something that might have some value. And I don't know if it's good value or high value, but we're going from 0 to something, and that is probably a good thing.
Now, we're also getting some change, the knockout rewards, War and Crucible. Do you think this is going to cause any in-alliance fighting? Some people are suggesting that. Do you see any problems with these knockout rewards, including the Intel? Because people want to get these knockout rewards now. So is it too much of a good thing that we're getting these knockout rewards?
So I logged into my alliance to do my raids yesterday, and there was one total node left on the entire raid, and it was not in my lane. It was in the other lane. So I can only speak to how that is working currently in raids, because the answer to that question is yes. It's already creating a problem in raids for me, where it's like all the nodes are done. So, you know, that could be a thing going forward. Absolutely. We'll have to see.
All right. We'll see if it's a bigger thing. Now, the other thing that was mentioned in this, in addition to all these changes, Ultimate 32 or Ultimate 16, not Ultimate 32. That is coming next week. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think happened in 32? Was it lasting too long? Were there too many players? Was there too many rooms? Do you think it's going to be 2 rooms now? What has changed to bring them Ultimate 16, in your opinion?
Okay. I think that the 16s and 32s and whatever the 16 is a good thing. My issue is that when they switch between them, always get screwed up. Every single time, right? Every time that they've gone from season X to the 32 to the next season, something gets screwed up every single time.
It's
and
different.
That's what I don't want to experience.
It's different every time.
Yeah, that's what I do not want to experience is the transition, the payouts, the rewards, the people can't get queued. Then we're gonna have to run it for 2 weeks. We've had like 4 or 5 variations of different kinds of problems, and that's what I'm worried about the most.
Yeah, all right. So hopefully it runs without issues. Maybe 32 was too much for them. Maybe 16 will help alleviate some of these issues. But in addition to that, we also got some data mines for the season 15 rules of Cosmic Crucible. Now, of course, these are data mines, so some of these could change. All of these could change, or it could remain exactly like this. But have you seen these?
I have.
Okay, let me read them out in case somebody's watching has not seen these. Global rules: Omens of Danger. Omens of Danger on offense and defense. Harbinger characters on successful hit. If the primary target has a trauma, perform an ISO attack against that trauma. Or against that target. On defense, all characters will have all their normal stuff like that. So the Harbinger tag is going to mean something this season in Cosmic Crucible. Vigilantes have that. I believe the Thunderbolts have that as well, right?
Well, my understanding is that they mentioned that there were going to be 3 teams that were going to be able to do extra stuff inside of the Scourges for the Red Stars, for Quasar. So they're saying that there was going to be some sort of monthly Scourge, and that Thunderbolts was going to be the first of 3 teams that would allow you to further power up your Quasar in those monthly Scourges. And specifically, RJ said Red Stars in his video, but there's also 3 awakened abilities. It would not surprise me if there was some sort of leaderboard on those where the first one gave out one of the awakened abilities and so on, but we don't know. So the Harbinger characters are going to be Vigilante already in game, Thunderbolts, and those 2 other unnamed teams. We don't know what they are.
Gotcha. We saw the preview of that earlier this week in game, and I don't know if you guys have your guesses. Let me know. All right, room 1, combat support, offense, defense. Oh, so the ISO 8s will matter. Fortifier and healer characters on hit apply 1 vulnerable up to 20. Striker characters on hit apply 3 vulnerable up to 20. All characters on hit apply +2 vulnerable up to 20. All characters when attacking, they'll gain 100% damage per vulnerable on the attacking character. On in turn, clear vulnerable on this character. Interesting rule. All based on vulnerable. I immediately go back to the old Cabal and Iron Patriot. What are you thinking with this room?
Well, once you take a turn, it clears the vulnerable, right? So whoever goes first is not going to have as many vulnerables. So like this is going to be a speed situation. Like whoever goes first is going to be hitting into the most number of vulnerables.
All right, room 2, offense, defense, all characters on turn. The character has taunt. Oh, I scrolled up a little too far. Room 2, on offense and defense, all characters on turn. If character has taunt, gain offense up on turn. Apply assist now to all allies with offense up. What are your thoughts on this?
All right, so the taunt part is not the important part. It's the second part. Assist now to all the allies with offense up. So playing with teams that give it to themselves, or running a character like Guardian, which gives offense up to all the allies, is going to be the way that this room plays out.
Lots of assists. Negative energy. This is like a Kahori room, I'm thinking. On offense, defense, all characters. Special abilities cost 4 less ability energy on successful crit hit. Reduce target's ultimate ability energy by 1.
Yeah, so this could be absolutely busted in so many different ways. And then you have to think about teams that really have powerful, impactful specials, like I think of like the Mortals team, a lot of the specials on the Mortals team are very important. And we're going to see how this plays out. You mentioned Kohori. Man, that could be a good one also, right?
Interesting room here. All right, room 4, Spore attacks. On offense, defense, all characters do damage that reduce the max health of the target by the same amount, increase max health and damage by 50%. Ooh, okay. So they're gonna start with more max health, but every time they do damage, they can't get that health back.
So this is kind of like Mephisto. I'm curious how Mephisto works with this, like if it double stacks or whatever like that. Also a character like in-game Thanos, where he does damage once he drops below 50%, right? That's going to be very impactful, right? Something like that should be like really menacing.
I like it. All right. Room 6, the Thunderbolt room. On offense, defense, Thunderbolt characters. When this character is attacked, generate 1 ability energy, gain 100% crit chance, and 300% focus. Now, when we tested Thunderbolts on the test server, wasn't really great, but obviously didn't have diamonds and anything like that. And a lot of times when there's tests on the test server, either the characters are better or worse than we thought. Do you think Thunderbolts are actually going to have an impact in Cosmic Crucible? Not based on anything on the test server, because that may be inaccurate. What do you think just based on their kits?
Okay, so when I read the kits, I was excited about them. And then when I played them, I was underwhelmed. It's just, that was my experience. I was just like, wow, this did not play out as good as I thought. So this is gonna be Thunderbolt's room right now. We've got Ghost and Taskmaster and what's the Victoria hand. We'll get the other 2. Probably by the time this is up and running, we'll have all 5 in the game.
So this offense and defense, initial thoughts, putting them on offense or using them for defense?
I have no idea. Probably defense. Here's the thing. I think putting a new team on defense initially creates some situations because people don't necessarily know how to counter it, where if you just put generic thing there, maybe not so much. I'm going to try defense at first.
Good point.
That's all I can think. Yeah.
Anything new is different. All right, and then I love this name, Dorkys Broken Headset.
Yeah.
You made an interesting point earlier. What did you want this to be named?
Dorky's Kids Broken Toys, or Dorky smashes his kids' toys. I don't know, something like that. Broken Headset's pretty good too, though.
Well, what I mentioned back to you is, well, this is round 1. They're going to do broken toys, broken kids' toys, bagged milk, all that stuff for him in these rooms. I fully support room 6 Dorky just changing it up every season.
Yeah, so you should put the clip in here. The clip is hysterical. I mean, I think it's one of the most infamous clips on Twitch right here. It's the clip where in Cosmic Crucible, the first content creator, Cosmic Crucible, like you remember, like the very first one. The first one is when Old Man Logan and his kit was bugged, and it just for the Crucible, the kit was bugged, and he lost the Crucible because the kit was bugged and it did not work.
This character's stupid! No way! He took 2 turns in a row we didn't clear! What the f? What the f? No way! I lost round 1 to that? I lost round 1 to that? What? Holy f***, are you kidding me? What the f*** is Old Man Logan's kit? Holy f***, we lost round 1. Oh!
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't read the room. On offense, defense, all characters will break their... No, on offense, at end of turn, remove safeguard trauma from all characters on successful attack, copy and clear positive effects. All right. Unfortunately, nothing to do with the toys in the room on this room. Other than the name.
Okay, so actually this room here looks the most interesting, and I am the most perplexed on how this room will play out. I feel like this is very interesting, and of course it's interesting because Dorky thought it up.
Nice. Okay. Wasn't sure on that, but all right, good. I'm glad. I hope he wins all the time, so we can just get a new Dorky name. All right. Below all of our rooms for Cosmic Crucible, the Datamines, it says Fortifier Purple 3 change to clear all vulnerable. Now, this is a Datamine. This could mean something. This could mean nothing. We were trying to figure this out though, Valley Club. I went into my Black Knight and read what he does right now. So I don't know if this was a change that they were proposing, because I honestly couldn't remember what ISO 8.3 Purple did. And on turn, clear all vulnerable from himself, gain a 10% max health, 3% barrier on turn. It says It says, actually, we go back to this. It says to clear all vulnerables. He's already doing that on himself. Is this going to extend to his teammates? Is he just clearing all vulnerables on his enemies? What do you think this is going to do? Or all the vulnerables on the field? Or nothing? Maybe this is just the random data mine.
Yeah, what this means to me is to look for some upcoming possible changes to Fortifier Purple 3. We just got to be on the lookout. I don't think this is clear at all, because what is changing? It already says clear all vulnerables on self. So what part of it is changing? What part is being omitted? Are they making it to all allies? Are they making it to everyone? It's nothing about this is clear. So we're just going to wait and see.
And it shouldn't be, because it's just a data mine at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I just want to get your thoughts. We haven't really talked about this for a while, but your thoughts on Overpowered right now. I know a lot of the community does not like that. I personally don't know if it's affected me a lot. Has this affected you a lot? Is this as bad as everybody's thinking? And will they do anything?
All right. So there's two inherent contradictions that I see that Overpowered is doing. Is the developers have been consistently trying to get new players to in-game as quickly as possible. Like you've heard stories of people getting like Old Man Logan as quickly as 9 months or even a year, right? And so I think Overpowered totally takes 10 steps back. This Overpowered negatively impacts newer accounts versus veteran, older 6-7 year old accounts. It really does. So I feel like this is kind of going against what they've been trying to do. And when it comes to new players, right? This is an anti-catch-up mechanic. The second thing is they've also at length, and you were there, were worried about how complicated war was, right? You were there. They're they're deeply concerned with how complicated war is. Overpowered has made war way more complicated. Like it is it's taken like 10 steps backwards in that mission directive. So those are the things. I mean, there's a ton of other reasons, that this definitely hurts free to play more than spenders. It forces people to upgrade bad teams inside of war. Counters that used to work last week or before Overpowered no longer work. It's been very disruptive. I don't know. I feel like it has stabilized to me a little bit inside of Crucible. Like I kind of got it figured out in Crucible. Still struggling in war because I really don't want to upgrade some of these C-tier teams, but they used to work and now they don't. Also, the biggest thing to me that I've seen in Overpowered is that this has pushed speed. If your team is faster than them, Overpowered doesn't matter. So it's also incentivized the speed meta again. So which I also,
two things they're trying to get away from, right?
That's like something else they were trying to get away from. And Overpowered just pushed the speed meta onto another level. So
it seems like they had one problem, which is equipping one gear tier 20 piece, getting most of the power from that. They tried to fix that problem maybe with Overpowered, and it caused a bunch of other problems. That's not
I think that you remember when they came out with Diamonds? And remember how they had proposed a number, then they scaled it back. They launched it with a scaled back number, and then they went and reverted and boosted. I feel like they stayed this, that for them to make going to level 110, for them to go to Purple 5, for them to introduce Purple 21, every time that they do something like that to make it feel powerful or people would want to do that, they're going to continuously have to add the stats. Like every time they do that, it's usually 20 or 30% stats. And they're saying that is just going to spiral out of control and that they needed Overpowered to offset that. I'm not sure that that's true, but that was their stated reasons.
All right, well, maybe that's why they did it. I'm not sure if they thought of all the other effects that this would cause, but I think what they did say that Diamonds didn't hit the marks that it wanted to do. They wanted to last for about 12 to 18 months. It's been over that time, so maybe this was their next step to solve Diamonds, not necessarily just a gear tier 20 thing. Maybe it's to solve the Diamond thing, because they did say that it didn't hit a lot of the marks that you're trying to get. So
we'll see.
Let's move on to diamonds. Let's move on to diamonds. I have not seen Old Man Logan in my diamond store yet. I think the total cost to get him from 0 diamonds to 1440.
Hold on. You're sitting on. There's two things. You're sitting on an ungodly amount of the currency where you could easily take Old Man Logan to 3 diamonds once you see him. And you're also
never showed up for me. He's never showed up for me.
You're sitting on 11,000 power cores. Push that button. Push that refresh button right now. Do it. Hit the refresh button. Hit the refresh button.
All right, this will be the only time. This will be the only time I refresh it, just because we're recording a video.
Every reset. Okay.
That was a good use of
Hit it a second time. Hit it a second time. He's so good.
What is this? What are we doing here? That was a horrible. No, I'm not doing it again. No. That was horrible use of 100 power cores. Now I'm at 10, not 11. All right, I've not seen him yet though. But as far as the total cost, I think the third diamond is 9,000. I think the total cost is 14,400. I can't remember what the first and second star is, but he's not shown up for me ever. And I was hoarding all of this stuff here so that when it does show up, the next character, Mephisto, Captain Britain, whatever, Shadow King, that would be ready. But I'm ready. I just haven't had them show up, and I don't want to waste any more power cores.
So the red stars for Shadow King are now in here, and the diamond Ben Logan are here. And yes, I never did the 100s, but I did the 50s. So every reset I did the 50s, and I have found all 3 of my diamonds, and I have found my reds on Shadow King. Now, could I have waited 2 weeks or something to do that? Yeah, but I tripled the speed of it happening. Does that make sense?
Sure. Or you might have gotten it the next one right after that if you didn't spend the power cores.
All right. I mean, maybe.
I don't know, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. My question though is, I mentioned him a little bit. Captain Britain. Why is he obviously Shadow King? He just had an event. His diamond's going to be a while, but why not Captain Britain? His stuff was so long ago.
I don't know.
I think he's actually out of the meta. I think he's a pre-Ares character as well. Why no Captain Britain?
I haven't thought about it, but I know that he's what they call an epic character, which is supposed to be special. Like kind of the same way that Zombie Scarlet Witch or Mega Red Phoenix Force is. So I don't know. I do not know.
All right. If you guys have any guesses, let me know in the comments. But we have a Psychic Cataclysm that is starting later today. And what this is you could get a Dark Xavier costume, but there's also some other rewards here. It's really for the Krakens, for endgame players, but
no. This is not for an endgame player. This is for the fractional number of people that already have Professor X. There's tons of endgame players.
Hold on. Anybody else that has 5 characters at Gear Tier 20, this is also for you, because if you've missed some of the Twitch rewards, it's not just the leaderboard. There's 3 unmentioned characters. We got the Fonzie Old Man Logan. We got the Dark Jean Grey and the Dark Nightcrawler. And then if you get the leaderboards, which what is the ranking awards? 500 people will get a Dark Xavier costume, but I don't know how challenging this is gonna be. It may be easy, it may be hard. This is what the map looks like. So I'm sure you have some Gear Tier 20 characters. You're probably going to play this, correct? Are you going to equip a lot of the Scourges, try for some of these milestone points? I'm not sure how hard it is to get some of these points here.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but my understanding is that this was tuned for having Xavier. So I don't have Xavier.
You might be right.
I don't know if this is true or not, but my understanding is that this event was specifically designed for people that already have Xavier. How many people have Xavier? I don't know.
Not many,
a lot. Not a lot.
But all it says here doesn't say Xavier. It just says 5 Gear Tier 20.
Well, that's because they don't want to paywall it, but I believe it is. But anyways.
Well, yeah, I guess the only thing that you get is costumes. So if costumes are important to you, these previous costumes from Twitch and this ranking war for Dr. Xavier costume, that you get to do that later. All right, but let's move on from this because I know you're not into cosmetics. I know I'm way more into cosmetics than you are. I'm into them way more than you.
Listen, I got the in-game Thanos costume that not a lot of people got, and I've never equipped it.
Oh, the diamond one?
Yes, I've never equipped it. I don't care.
I equipped that.
I literally have. Okay, so like, look at you've got Old Man Logan, you've got the palm trees on your avatar. Go. I've got the blue. I got the blue ring, the one that you get when you start the game with Nobu. I don't care about cosmetics. I don't care about cosmetics at all.
All right. Well, obviously, I care about them way more than you. We've been through this already. Let's go to some value, though. The Intel store. All the value is here. I'm not purchasing anything other than my gear tier 20 pieces. The stuff that I need, not just random stuff, but only the stuff that I need. I'm avoiding these character shards. I'm avoiding this training modules. I'm more short on gold than training modules. Some people are more short on training modules than gold. But that's what I'm doing, because the most important thing for me is Professor X. So what are you doing at this point with this store?
Please do not buy training modules or T4s here. Please do not do that.
This is expensive. This is expensive for these training modules. Look at this. Look at this cost. Look at the cost.
Don't do it.
I just noticed the cost.
Oh my God, don't do it. Anyways,
right, I'm not buy any, but character shards.
Yeah,
I guess if war is important to you, you got some awakened abilities as well.
No.
Gear tier 20s for you as well.
I'm buying gear tier 20s.
Only gear tier 20. That's all I'm buying as also. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Longer Twitch rewards. All right. So, as someone that streams on Twitch, do you, and not from a player perspective, as someone that streams on Twitch, is this something you enjoy? 20,000 Intel credits, 2 million gold, 5 Songbird shards, but 6 hours. I think the total previous was 2 hours. Now it's 3 times that. Does this affect you as a streamer at all, or not either way? Because of the way that you personally do that, and I think I do it as well.
Well, I feel like people that enjoy Twitch, I think this has introduced a lot of people to Twitch that they didn't know they enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of people that don't want to do this. And for me, I don't have time. Sometimes I end my stream and I raid somebody else, and I watch that person in the middle of the night from another room for 6 hours with me not sitting there. You know what I mean? So like, it's fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to.
Very similar things as well.
Yeah, I mean, I literally raid somebody else, leave the stream on, and walk out of this room, and I wake up, and then I come back in the morning, and I've got the reward. So there you go.
Do you think it's helped you as a content? I mean, that's what you're doing as a player, as a content creator. Has it helped you, or no difference?
Well,
because I think a lot of people are doing that exact same thing.
Okay, I mean, I'm very aware that some people like to read things and they go to Reddit. Some people like short form videos and they go to YouTube. Some people like when I have when I'm cleaning or I got something else going on, I like Twitch to be on. You know, it's like I will, like if I'm going to be doing something for like an hour or two, I'll throw on Twitch and I'll watch Twitch while I'm doing that. Some people do it. Why? Some people have jobs where they can watch Twitch.
Yeah.
And then that's fine. You know, so it's I think it's the way that people like to interact with Marvel Strike Force. Some people like the extreme long form, which would be Twitch. Some people like the medium form, which is YouTube short form, right? And then some people don't want to watch anything. They just want to read it. And maybe they go to Discord or they go to, everybody's different. So I
enjoy all 3 of those depending what my mood is and stuff like that. Just, you know, I prefer one of the other just depending how I'm at. All right, let's move back.
Well, but I just want to say I'm acutely aware that some people do not have time or enjoy Twitch. I get it. I love it. I love it myself, but not everybody does. That's fine.
Yeah. Yes, I mean sometimes and for me it changes what I'm doing in my mood. Let's move on to the Harbinger Milestones. Matt, I did not like the command center when it was first introduced because it was a little complicated. The rewards weren't that great. Yep. I like this now. I like this. I think it made it a lot better. Yep. It's easy to figure out this stuff. I'm not going to these other milestones as much anymore. I'm just going to the command center because the important stuff is there. What are your thoughts on this? I like this, but I do have a question about what it's going to do to the monthly milestone.
My understanding is that all of the event store and the milestone store will be consolidated. Everything will go to the command center over time, right? Right now we've got all 3, right? I like the formatting of the command center. It was a little confusing, like you said, when I first, but now that I've used it, it's like super simple. And for me, the events area is a mess. It's always been a mess. Events area is a mess. And the milestone area, it's a mess. The milestone area was fine. Like I didn't have a problem with the milestone area, but I think if they can, streamline, the 3 systems and merge everything into here. And I think this will be fantastic. The UI on it's fantastic. I like it.
Yeah, this takes you right to the place you need. The milestones, I didn't have a problem with the confusion of it. it's just so much clicking. As they started adding more and more milestones to give us more stuff, it just made it like so much more busy time to get all this stuff. And the event section is not really good as well. So
that's super simple. It's super simple. Like you just toggle between objectives and rewards, and then you just click the different thing. I just think it's great. I think it's a good, it's going to be implemented over time, and it's going to get, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's going to get better and better and better for this, but I didn't get it at first. I'm getting it now. I like it. As far as the monthly milestones, we don't have one right now. We had some fully crafted pieces of gear in there. We had some gold. We had some training mats. We had cosmetics. We had a new frame. I don't even care about it, but some people do. What do you think is going to happen to all that stuff? Is it going to shift to other milestones, or are they just, we're not getting fully crafted pieces every month anymore?
I have no idea. I have no opinion or thoughts on this at all. Nothing. Okay. I have no idea. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to weekly milestone then. I guess I have the same thoughts on this, just less confusing than before. I like all this stuff. There's one thing I do want to point out that I pointed out earlier. On the weekly milestones, if we go to this, one of them is based on spending your intel. Where is that? Gathering intel, right? 200,000 here, 300,000 down below. On this Harbinger milestones, on these objectives, there is a place that you get 100,000 on each of these milestones, one for Hit Monkey, one for Silver Sable, one for Daredevil. If you get these, you may want to wait on claiming this just because we don't know how much intel we're going to get in week 2, week 3, week 4. It may be fine. There may be more than enough, but just in case, you may want to hold off on claiming some of these Harbinger monthly milestones. Did you do all these already? Did you claim all these, or are you like taking it slowly?
No, I claimed them all already.
All right. Well, I hope there's the rest of them there, but just in case they don't give enough for the week 2, 3, 4, then maybe you might want to do that. Stolen Thunder milestones. Let's go to these because this is based on arena attacks. If you look at the scoring for this Shadow King Diamond Orb, that's for sale, but the Crimson Duelist Orb, that's from your arena ranking. So you don't even need to do an attack. So like for yourself, you said you've been on rank 3 for forever. You don't need to do anything. You're just getting like almost the best version of all these orbs here. Now, the interesting thing here, we were on the Red Star store, the Elite store earlier. These are for sale right now for diamonds, for Hyperion Songbird, Victoria Hand, 2 diamonds and 3 diamonds. I did kind of like what they did with Hercules. This seems very similar. Have you noticed this? What are your thoughts on this? And I don't know, have you been opening your arena orbs?
The arena, you asked like 3 questions there. So the arena orbs is for the trading materials. Yes, I've opened them. We talked about that.
What is this? The Crimson.
Oh, Crimson Orbs.
The Crimson
Orbs,
Duelist Orb. The Crimson Duelist Orb. That's what I'm talking about.
They have 1 G20 piece, possibly 2. You can get up to 8 a day if you're in the top 10. You're going to get 3.5 a day if you're in the top 20. The middle piece there's going to be 1 at 70% and 2 at 30%.
Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, those are great. Open them. Yeah, do them.
They're good.
Play better in arena. I think there's only good. Now you
play arena.
Well, and then go back up to you skipped over the orbs. 3 of them you can get through rewards. You go back to the milestone, the Stolen Thunder milestone. Stolen Thunder milestone. So I
clicked on too many. I'm clicking too many times. All right.
Hit scoring. Yeah. So the Shadow King Diamond Orbs, you can buy them, yes, but 3 of them you can get by having high star levels on some of the Vigilante members. So if you're like a mega spender, you could have just bought your way to those. So, but I didn't even buy Victoria Hand. I don't have Victoria Hand in my roster right now. I didn't even bother.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And that's not unusual for me, but that is pretty unusual for you to not have every single character.
It's very unusual for me. Yep. Yeah. Nope, I'm not doing it.
All right, I'm going to go back to the command center because I don't know why I put these topics in this order, but the location, not just the actual thoughts of it, the location got changed with our new update here. We did get a new update that arrived, and I think the big thing here was the command center going into the middle. I think that is another reason that I like it a little better. It's right in the middle, very easy to see instead of having half the campaign and half command center. As far as the location of the command center, what are your thoughts on that?
It's great. I love it. I love the command center.
All right, let's talk about the bugs. Let's talk about the rest of the updates that happened earlier this week. The bug fixes, and I hear not all of them are fixed. I hear there's still some weirdness going on in Cosmic Crucible with cohort speed mechanics, things like that. But what they said was fixed. A bug where Apocalypse would gain 100% speed bar after using his ultimate against an enemy null. I was wondering, I was getting that. I was doing the special. He wasn't able to do empowered basic, but he was still doing the special. Did you notice that in Arena? That was happening every time. And
I noticed the day that it changed. It changed, I don't know, maybe like a week ago. Switched it to work correctly. So this was updated a couple days ago. I don't know when exactly, but I remember when it happened.
Gotcha.
Apocalypse is still viable in the arena, by the way. It's just that when he does his ultimate, he's not going to be able to immediately go into his special when playing against Null. He's just going to do his ultimate. He's not going to get the speed bar.
Yeah, and I guess the big thing is he wasn't already doing his empowered basic, which is the big move. And I don't know if it changed too much because he wasn't already doing that. The special's good, but the empowered basic is
well, it works now the way it reads. Because
how it's supposed to work. How it's supposed to work.
So this is correct. Yeah.
I'm just saying it wasn't game changing. It was still winning that even with that special going off. So
yeah,
that's fine. The other bugs, Star Jammers, when they fought an enemy Nightcrawler against the Nightcrawlers, there was speed mechanics that were acting improperly. Have you noticed any speed issues that got fixed since then? I guess this just happened yesterday or maybe earlier this morning. I'm not sure.
Well, the second line item fixed an issue where some speed mechanics of characters were acting improperly. There was definitely an issue in Arena where Null not getting the extra speed from Gore because Null has a speed based on the number of symbiotes, and it was based on the location of the Null. The Null was on a certain side or the other side, it was working or not working. There was some question on whether or not it was new Emma that was messing that up or not. So I'm guessing that they fixed that because that was a problem.
The one with the new Emma, that was an old one, right?
Yeah, that was
going on for a while.
Yeah, but there was definitely a placement error, order of operations bug, depending on where you put Null. And you could go into two matches with identical teams, but the placement of Null would entirely change the turn meter and the turn order. So I'm guessing because I submitted a whole report on this with videos and everything, and I think it got fixed. I haven't gone and tested since then, but we'll find out.
Hopefully they got it done. Hopefully they don't just say it and actually do it. Let's move back. You talked about Victoria Hand. One of the first characters in a long time that you did not purchase. As you can see, I did not purchase her either. What are your thoughts on the value of this team when they fully come to the game, and why did you not purchase Victoria Hand? What is the not need for her right now?
All right, so the team, I'm not saying to not get her because there's two.
Why didn't you get her personally?
I don't need her today. I do not need her. She will do absolutely nothing for me today. And I'm going to buy Hyperion, I'm going to buy Songbird, and because I'm sitting on an abundance of cores, if and when I need Victoria Hand, and I will, but it's going to be a complete team. I will core her then. Along the way, I can pick up a good majority of those shards. Why would I want to core her today when I don't need to?
So it's not so much about Victoria Hand, it's just because the full team is not here yet, and there's no real value for her without the. I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
But the team is fine. They're going to be a bio raid team. They're going to be used on the Scourges to get the red stars. Yeah, on.
What was your experience outside the raids? Because they smashed the raids. I went in with 3 stars on them, and they completely dominate the raids, which they should. It was a little disappointing in Cosmic Crucible, and it may or may not be accurate. But what was your experience in Crucible War if you tested them?
We had no access to Crucible. We only had access to War, so I have no idea.
I know when I went in, there wasn't anything going on. I'm not sure if you recorded yours.
No, I read the kits and I was a little bit more hyped, and then when I played them, I was underwhelmed. They didn't, I just didn't get. I didn't think they were doing it like what I thought they were going to do. They were okay. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Please understand that me playing it for 1 or 2 hours in a war environment is not the same as everybody in the community playing it for a week. It may be very different.
It's a test environment as well, right? It's not the true war environment.
Well, the thing that was good about the test environment is that they were all at 3 red, 3 yellow, Victoria Hand, Hyperion, Songboogie, and we had in the test server we had Taskmaster and Ghost at 3 diamond. That is going to be
that's weird. That was weird.
The way that is similar to what I would have, frankly. The other thing too is
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's actually similar enough. And then also the testing I did, everything was at Overpowered 10, so there was no Overpowered issues. I mean, I think there's a whole host of real world testing that needs to be done on this, and to me, it was underwhelming what I tested.
So I guess they were underwhelming in a test server, but that may or may not be reflective of the real game.
Well, have you noticed that's a thing lately? They push out the team and then they rework them. They did that with Starjammers. They reworked them twice. They reworked
Liberty.
Vigilante. So
I think they did Liberty as well. I think Liberty as well.
Maybe they're pushing out teams kind of weak, hoping that they're going to be good enough, and then they wait for the data to come back and then they buffed them. I don't know, but they were very underwhelming to me.
All right, and moving on from the in-game Thunderbolts to the on-screen Thunderbolts. I saw a tweet that you saw the movie, you enjoyed it. I saw it on Saturday with the family. I enjoyed it, the kids enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on this Thunderbolt movie with no spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen this movie?
All right, so I think you already know my thoughts. This was an excellent movie. This was a very good movie. Now, is this movie of the order of importance, let's say like the Fantastic Four movie that could potentially be, or Infinity War or Endgame? No, it's kind of a filler movie, right? But this is the best.
It's a fun, if you just want to fun, as far as importance is, I don't know, but as far as fun, good times, that's what this movie is. I have no idea what the importance is going to be.
If we're going to call this a filler movie that progresses, you know,
I think it needs to be more than a filler movie, because
it's kind of
maybe story-wise, yes, but it's fun. Right, it's so fun.
Right. No, so what I'm saying, if we're gonna call it a filler movie, this is like the best filler movie that Marvel's put out in a long time. And my hope for the Marvel, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that if this is a baseline of quality that we're going to get going forward, I'm going to be a huge fan. This was a good movie. This was a really good movie.
Just put in all the jokes, put in all the, just keep the fun. Marvel movies in general should be fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Right.
Yeah, this movie was good. It's just that it's kind of, I don't want to call it a filler movie, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's not.
I do. I mean, the stakes weren't like Thanos destroying the whole universe.
Yeah, it's an origin story.
I didn't need that to enjoy it. So,
cool. It was great.
That's cool.
It was great. Really good movie.
All right. If you guys saw the movie, let me know your thoughts. I will see you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts all about Marvel Strike Force as well, where the game is at, and where you think it's heading. Any other final thoughts for you, Brother Mobile?
The Thunderbolts team is an abomination of what it should be. Holy moly. After seeing the movie, what the hell? And I know the community voted for it.
It should not have let us vote for the Yelena. That should have been an automatic pick. That should have been an automatic pick. We should not have voted for her.
No, and
she should have been in the game.
And they could have done like a Sinister Six rework, right? And maybe all they need to do is buff stats on Red Guardian. Then he's a pre-taunting tank that could be inserted, right? Give him the Thunderbolt tag. Maybe give Yelena.
US Agent was always trash. What they could have just given him a rework just cause.
But US Agent could have had boosted stats in Crucible, and he would make a Crucible team. You know what I mean? And then they could have did something with the Yelena for Wars. They didn't. They did them so dirty, and the community would have not voted the way they did if they saw the movie first. We were voting on kits and where they were.
In-game kits.
Yes, we were looking at the kits and whether we had them developed or not. And now we're getting, Taskmaster and Ghost, and a lot of us are scratching our heads. It's like, what the hell is this Thunderbolts team? It has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I know they want to market certain ways, but they could have. I don't know. They could have at least just given them all the tag. Just give them the updated stats. Don't change the kit for Winter Soldier. Don't change the kit for US Agent. Don't change any of these four kits. And just get the updated stats and the tag. That's it. They could have done that and let us play around with it.
We asked them this, and they gave us the lamest, lazy excuse on why they couldn't do it, and this and that. And we can't. No, that's garbage. If it was important to them, it would have happened. If it was important to them, it would have happened.
I don't know what you said before garbage, but you cut out, but I'm sure it was something very, very good. Are you ready for the best part of this video, though?
All right, let's do it.
All right. I've been looking forward. Oh, there we go. Hulk Festival. Have a great rest of your day, guys. MobileGamer, ValleyFlyin out. Check out some of the other videos.